So this is the last day we're going to spend in France, and then we're going home. Have you enjoyed the trip?
Yeah, of course. It's been amazing.
I know you was a bit anxious about coming camping because you just don't do camping.
No.
And
Well, this is like home from home.
yeah, it's been really good. The van's worked out brilliantly. Well, I think it has anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been able to cook all the meals that we normally cook and
Yeah. We haven't gone hungry.
just treat it as if it was our house. So yeah, it's not been camping at all really. It's been way better than that. But we've had one or two sort of rough spots, but far outweighed by millions of epic places that we've been to, haven't we?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, what were maybe, can you think of any of the bad ones that we've been to, some of the worst campsites? Or
They're not bad, but at the time, looking back, it was probably the one where we were in that tiny, in the little car park, the grassy one. We were in the middle of nowhere. There was just that one little house.
Oh, where we were parked
when we
on
first started
little
out,
peninsula.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When we first
yeah.
started out, the van was new to me, especially not camping.
Yeah, well, we weren't really used to living in the van then, was
No.
we? So everything was, it was all new to us.
Yeah.
And,
But if we went there now, I wouldn't have no problems with it whatsoever. But at the time, it was probably a bad one for me, which obviously we did.
yeah, we did
mention
show it. We mentioned it in the video.
Yeah.
At the time, it felt it was a bit nervous about camping there.
Yeah.
Because we just weren't sure what the crack was really, I suppose. But yeah, but now looking back, that probably would be a really nice little spot to camp,
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
it would. Yeah.
Really quiet. Nobody'd go down there.
No.
You'd have the whole place to yourself,
Yeah, it was
probably.
nice. It would have been. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only other couple of times where we tried to camp, which weren't really good spots, was the 2 times that we got followed by the police
Oh yeah.
into the car park.
Yeah.
There was that, I can't remember the place now, but we were right near the beach and we parked in that car park, and I don't think there was any overnight parking
No,
there.
there wasn't.
And we literally pulled up, took a seatbelt off and turned the keys off, and that police car, like, it was like a 4x4 pickup truck sort of thing, wasn't it? Drove round the car park, and we both sort of looked at each other and thought, no, we better not stay here. We're only just going to get moved on anyway.
Yeah, we would.
And that one where we were right on that little harbour town, I think it's, I can't remember the name of the place, Biarritz I think it is, little French town right on the border between France and Spain.
Yeah.
Half the town's in Spain, one side of the harbour, and the other side's in France.
Yeah.
And there was a beautiful car park along the beachfront there, thousands of empty spaces, but there was a width restriction and height restriction, so we weren't really supposed to be in there. But we thought, oh, we'll chance it because we're only in a van, aren't we? Drove in there, and then literally were followed this police tow truck.
Tow truck, yeah.
Tow truck,
It wasn't
like,
even just a car.
Followed us round the car park, waiting to, like, if we'd have left the van there, sure enough, that would have got towed away.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think they're the only times when we were sort of chancing our luck a little bit. But other than that, all the other places we've stayed have been absolutely amazing, haven't they? They've been fantastic.
Yeah, they've been lovely.
And we haven't really paid for many either. I mean, the only times we've paid for a campsite is because we wanted to use their free hot showers and whatever, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And pretty much 90% of the time we've just camped for nothing, haven't we? Camped for free.
We have, yeah. I think there's been maybe 1 or 2, but they haven't been expensive.
No, most of them are between 7 to 10 euros a night. Or...
Yeah.
So out of this 2 months then, what do you reckon, what's been your sort of highlight? What are the most sort of memorable places that we've seen or places that we've stayed?
Well, at the moment the most memorable is the drive up to the little chapel.
Oh in the Dora Valley.
Yeah, in the Dora Valley.
We went up to St Leonardo's chapel, yeah. That was epic. I mean, it's such an amazing view from up there, isn't it?
Yeah, just to see all the fields of vines, and you can see the river, and yeah, it was really good.
You've got pretty much like 360 degrees all round you from that little spot, and you can see so far.
Yeah, oh yeah.
and it's so stunningly beautiful, that whole area. It's no surprise that it's like a World Heritage Site, that whole valley. It's just epic. The whole drive through that valley was just amazing. The scenery was just fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, we were there off season, so like it was really quiet.
Yeah.
You could drive up there, and I reckon you could easily camp there. Nobody would even know you're up there, to be honest.
No, they wouldn't.
There's a nice little car park there, isn't there? And some stunning views.
Yeah.
And later on in the day, after 6 o'clock, when everyone else, all the visitors had gone or whatever, you could quite easily camp there, couldn't you? Nobody would bother you.
Yeah, no, I reckon. So what was yours then?
God, there's loads, isn't there?
Well, there is, but...
I remember driving, we were coming back, and we were driving along the main road coming back through Portugal, and we were on that stretch of motorway, and we saw that huge, great big castle on the hill in the distance.
Oh, yeah.
And all the town was all painted white, typical Portuguese buildings, white buildings with the red roofs.
Yeah.
And it just looked so picturesque. So we literally just turned off the next junction and drove up to the castle. And then obviously we found that we parked right by it and found out that it was actually a hotel,
Yeah.
but built within the castle grounds. And you could stay there. I mean, we even looked, didn't we, to see how much it was, because we thought, oh, this would be amazing just to stay here for one night.
It was nice.
And it
really
was about,
nice.
I didn't think it was too bad. It was probably like 4 or 5 star hotel. Beautiful surroundings, swimming pool. It was lovely, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And I think it was like €130 for a night.
Yeah, something like that.
So we were tempted, definitely tempted to ever stay there for the night. But that was really stunning, and that was just one that we didn't plan to go to. Just turned off the road and just drove there.
Yeah.
So that was quite a nice little find, really. And then we had lunch by the river.
Yeah, we did.
Or just along the front where all those little restaurants were.
Yeah.
That was really pretty, really scenic. And even though we couldn't really speak hardly any Portuguese,
No.
we still managed to order our lunch.
Well, you did.
And a couple of drinks. Yeah. And just the price of stuff, like, you know, sandwich each and a cake each and a couple of drinks, and it was like €11. You know,
Oh, no, it's mad.
everywhere we've been so cheap, isn't it? In Portugal especially.
Yeah, and of course we can't miss the where we stayed with the Luna Bar, the
Yeah,
beach bar.
that was such a chilled out vibe there.
It was so nice.
I really enjoyed that. I mean, we stayed there for a few days, but that was when, after the first couple of weeks of getting used to the van,
Yeah.
we just got into the groove of it, you know, and how the van worked and everything else. And it was just maybe after a couple of stressful days where we were trying to find that LPG adapter,
Yeah.
which all of that got sorted out. So we were set then, weren't we? There was no
Yeah.
problems, and we could chill out. And I think that just happened to be the perfect spot to land on for us just to chill for a few days.
Yeah, it was. It was nice not to have to worry about trying to find anywhere else to park, or well, not that there was any troubles, but you know, you haven't got to think about that. And like you say, it was just so chilled. And the guy at the bar was like really friendly, really chilled.
Yeah.
Even the other couple of guys there, and the woman.
Well, everybody who turned up there, everybody seemed to know each other, didn't
Yeah.
they?
And everybody was just so friendly.
There's obviously a lot of locals went there, you know, it was that kind of bar, and everybody who turned up, you had a really good friendly greeting or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just an awesome place to stay. And obviously you got all the free use of all the facilities there, so
Well, yeah, exactly.
you know, you could have a nice decent hot shower and that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a really good place. And then obviously we stayed for what, 4 days, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then the owner come out and you know, gave us another night for free.
Yeah.
Which was
That was really nice.
yeah, really bit of a bonus. So yeah, that was really good place. And that, I like, you know, we didn't venture into the city much, only because of the parking really, more than anything. You know, it's difficult to park such a long vehicle like this, isn't it, in the city. So we probably missed out a little bit on some of the major towns. But I think when we went to Porto, and you know, we didn't take the van, we actually we got a lift with Roy.
Yeah, we did.
There's a Portuguese couple that, you know, reached out to us and said, could we meet them? And Roy was doing the van build, and we got to stay with them for a couple of days. And that was amazing, really. You know, they really did look after us. We camped on their drive for a couple of days, but they treated us to some authentic Portuguese food.
Oh, it's fantastic.
You know, that was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was lovely.
And yeah, they really did spoil us for a couple of days, and I thought that was absolutely amazing. You know, we didn't know them at all before coming on this trip. Obviously, Roy was building the camper van, he'd been watching the videos and whatever, so he'd emailed me a couple of times just to see, you know, if we was in the area, could we pop in and see them. But yeah, that was a brilliant couple of days, and such lovely people, absolutely fantastic, and they couldn't have made us more welcome, really.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah, that was an amazing couple of days, and brilliant food.
Yeah.
And then Roy took us obviously into Porto, so we didn't have to take the van.
No.
And then we got to explore the city, which was brilliant, you know, and it's such a beautiful city. We could have stayed there a lot longer, to be honest. It was a shame that was another day that it was raining. So we had to sort of dart in and out of places, but we still got to do the Sandeman distillery, and we got to go on the cable car, and you got to run across the bridge.
I did get to run across the bridge, thanks.
Bridges are not your thing, are they?
No.
And yeah, that is that huge, great big bridge that was built by Eiffel, you know, the guy who did the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just this whole scenery of that whole city was just amazing. And you could have spent a lot longer there, really.
Yeah, just a shame of the weather.
Yeah, the weather, but we're really early in the year, you know, it's March, April time, so you've got to expect a bit of that, really. But I think we've been lucky with the weather, though. We've had some fantastic beach days, haven't we?
Oh, we have, yeah.
You know, we've had a couple of days where we've been out at a sunbathe, or you've been out at a sunbathe.
Yeah, if I can sunbathe, it's warm enough.
So yeah, I don't think we've done bad with the weather at all, really. Been pretty lucky.
Yeah. I've got to admit, as you know, a girl loves to shop. I do love their hypermarkets over here.
Yeah, blimey.
They do everything, literally everything.
They are huge, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, you literally could spend all day in there looking around. I think they must stock everything you can think of. And the food is, like, particularly like when we were in France and that, the patisseries, like we stopped at a couple of little local patisseries, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
And the cakes and the pastries and the bread and all that, it's just absolutely amazing, isn't it? I mean, you could easily pile on a few pounds, couldn't you, if we stayed here a bit too.
Could.
With all the cakes and that. Yeah, that's been brilliant, really good.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if we can pop into the hypermarket on the way back to the ferry, maybe pick up a couple of pastries to take home with us.
Yeah, I might eat them on the ferry. I might not make them home.
I think as well as meeting Roy and Maria, you know, we also met another couple of people while we were travelling around as well, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
It was Steve and Jill messaged us and said if we were near the convent.
Yeah, in Tomar, is it Tomar?
Yeah, near Tomar. They were parked up there, and we were probably about 90 miles south of them.
Yeah, but we were heading
north. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and we popped in and parked on that municipal campsite, which was free.
Yeah.
And met them and spent a really lovely evening in their van.
Yeah.
Again, they'd done their own self-build, didn't they? Really lovely little quirky van.
Yeah.
You know, and Jill had really decorated it with a lot of sort of little sort of touches like that bunting and the fairy lights.
Bunting, fairy lights, and I liked
some really nice colourful fabric in there.
Yeah, and the designs on the outside.
Oh yeah, they had the compass on the outside. Yeah, their van was really lovely, and they had a brilliant evening.
Yeah.
So the big question is, now that we've lived in a van for a couple of months, has it put you off doing another trip in the van? Or?
No, definitely not. I can't wait to get out again.
I think if I personally didn't want this couple of months to end, because I could have quite happily continued just travelling around, and yeah, I'm the same. I just can't wait to get back out and explore some more, to be honest.
Yeah.
What do you think, like, if anything, are there any bad points in the van that maybe didn't work, or we could have changed, or what did we do that we could alter next time we come out? Or
I think being our first time and the type of people that we are, being overcautious, I think we packed a little bit too much stuff.
yeah, we brought so much stuff with us.
There's a lot of stuff that we haven't used, we haven't needed, so when we go back we can reevaluate what we do need.
Definitely, yeah, cut down on what we take away, because we just sort of literally chucked everything in here to
that we thought we
think,
might need.
right, yeah, what for every eventuality. You know, we've probably got
Yeah.
about 3 or 4 boxes of stuff in the garage
Yeah.
that hasn't even seen daylight
No.
in
No.
the last 2 months, so we obviously didn't need it,
No.
you know. So yeah, we could definitely
That's a learning curve. So,
yeah, we could slim down on the stuff that
Yeah.
we thought, oh yeah, we'll need that, and we never even used it. So
No.
yeah, that's what. Yeah, we could definitely do that. And then what's been sort of good things that you think about the van?
Good things, the way we've designed to do it. For me, definitely, I could not go without having our toilet in here.
Oh, that's
and-
essential.
And even the shower, we have used it. I know we've used campsite showers, but we have used the shower,
Yeah.
and but the toilet is an absolute godsend for me.
Yeah,
It's just nice to know that you can go.
You definitely need. I mean, as well as the toilet, I think the shower cubicle is just a private place where you can just have a wash and whatever, and your partner doesn't have to go out of the van.
Yeah,
You know, if it's raining or whatever,
you're going to be wet for a long time.
yeah, someone's got to stand outside in the rain,
Yeah,
or you have a wash, or if you want to have a wash in private, which is only natural, isn't it?
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
I know we're a couple, but some things, you know, you do want to.
You want to do behind closed door.
You do want a bit of privacy sometimes. So yeah, the shower cubicle has definitely been a bonus. And
Yeah.
you know, there's the odd occasion where you want to get up in the night and just have a wee, and you don't want to be running across a campsite
No,
in your pyjamas.
no.
Well, we don't. So yeah, that's definitely been a
Yeah.
huge bonus,
Yeah.
isn't it? And I think just having the cooker, being able to cook whatever we want,
Yep.
and the Truma heater has been amazing, and that's worked.
Yeah, on the nights that we've needed it, when it's been damp, cold outside, when it's been raining, those odd days, even during the day when we've been parked up and you've been like, editing
might
a
be a
video
little bit chilly or
been
something
editing
like
a
that, yeah.
video or something and it's been, cold outside, it's just nice to take the chill off.
And it just works brilliantly, you know. We've put it on that 16 degrees each night. Most nights it never even comes on.
No.
And then the odd time if it does drop, then it just keeps it a nice background sort of and then you wake up in the morning and you've got running hot water.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I must say though, the van hasn't actually been cold.
No, not at all. No, never has been cold.
And this is from someone that feels the cold really
Yeah.
bad.
So definitely like insulating it properly and putting that Truma heater in. That's made it so cosy in here, isn't it?
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah. So I just want to end this video just by saying thank you to everybody who's followed us on this journey. If you followed us from the beginning of this van build through to the start of our trip in Europe and all of our European tour videos, I just want to say a massive thanks, and I appreciate all your support. We've really enjoyed reading all of the comments that you've left us all the way through this journey, and this is really just the start for us. We've only done 2 months in the van. We've absolutely thoroughly enjoyed the time that we've spent in the van and the places that it's enabled us to go and see. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do make sure that you do subscribe, because we've got loads of videos coming up. And if this is something that you're aspiring to do yourself, who knows, you might be able to pick up some tips of where to go and things to do in your van. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Cheers.